started, I want to talk a little bit about why traders fail before they even get started. For those of you that don't know me, hey, you guys, I'm Eugene Brown. I took about $5,000, turned it into $2.4 million in 2020 and 2021. It was about an 11-month period. I'll hopefully put that link someplace. If you go to YouTube and you look up from Uber driver to multimillionaire, a closer look at the money, you'll see it. It's on my page somewhere. I'll put it in one of the comment sections, that YouTube link. So I was able to take a little bit of money and turn it into a lot of money. And the reason I was able to do that is really because it took me some time to get out of my own way. And when I finally got out of my own way, meaning that um, I stopped treating money as if it grew on trees. I became more disciplined in what I was doing. I increased my skill set. So I learned a lot more about technical and fundamental analysis. And technical analysis for you guys. It's just using charts and chart patterns and technical indicators to find where you would ideally buy a stock, at what price point. Fundamental analysis is using the numbers, say, how much earnings do they have? What's the share structure like? How much debt do they have? You don't have to take a serious lean into the numbers, but understanding both technical analysis and fundamental analysis is important as it relates to why traders fail really before they even get started. And some of those reasons are that I outlined. Their relationship with money is not a great one. They may have emotional pressures. They may tie stock trading to paying bills, maybe. So now you're trading erratically because you're using money that you should not be tying that money to your day-to-day, month-to-month living, your bills, your things that have to be paid, your obligations. People, again, trade very emotionally for a variety of reasons. And in the stock market, that is one thing that you cannot do. You cannot trade with emotions. And the reason is because it clouds your judgment. And if you're walking around with clouded judgment, it's going to obviously impact what stocks you select. When do you get in? When do you get out? Um, Most people, I would say the ones especially who fail right out of the gate, they don't trade well because they came in without a plan. If you cannot tell me after a trade is finished, hey, what was your goal for the trade? Yeah, what was the trade all about? And you tell me, I don't even know what they do. It was something I read a little bit about in a marketing piece that was sent to my email or it was texted it to me. And I don't know any of the numbers, really don't know anything about the charts. And I just was hopeful that it would work out. And so I tell my students all the time, hope is not a strategy. You have to know what you're going to do, ideally, before you have to do it. I set my guys some stocks over the weekend. What I usually do for them is I do what's called the weekend review, where I will go over maybe 40 or 50 stocks and I'll narrow it down to about, 10 stocks. And then I'll give those names to them. Let me see. I got list. Yeah, that's part of the list. You really can't see it. I always write stuff down. Part of the list of some of the stocks, and I'll give that list to them. And And then I'll send them a text message for the ones at certainly at a certain price point where I will tell them, hey, these stocks look real good for Monday. And some of those names were, see if I can remember them off the top of my head, um, was MSTR, which is strategy. I gave them Tilly's TLYS. I gave them UUUU for use. I gave them Lowe's. It should look good here going forward. Gave them the oil names, which was a pretty easy play after Venezuela. And I'd given them QBTS, a few other names, that I told them that looked good for today, and they were all up, I think, except for Lowe's. So anyway, traders just they fail before they even place their first trade because they're too aggressive and they gamble too much and there's no plan and there's no discipline, there's no structure, there's no skill set. Literally, it's like they're rolling the dice. And so in my groups, I really teach a lot of structure. You guys, if you're going to get into trading, take your time, learn some things. Got to buy the new one. This book's Trading for a Living. I used to be that person that we're talking about. When you go into the back of this wonderful book, you've got two cameras going. Back in '06, July of '06, my goal was to take $2,000 and turn it into about $250,000 by the end of 2009. So right here, to, 706 and then '09. And that didn't happen because I was the individual that I'm talking about, too up and down, not balanced enough. If you trade stocks, do me a favor and put a one in the chat. I'm not going to reach out to you. I'm just trying to see who's on here. And then, yeah, definitely a one in the chat if you are already investing in stocks. And then in 2016, you can see right here, 10 years later, 2016, my goal was to take about $5,000 again, roughly, and grow that balance to roughly 129,000. So here again, to grow a balance from about $5,000 and up. And I was unable to do that either, is because I lacked in all of the areas that I'm telling you that you should not lack in. If you're going to move money in the stock market, it is important for you to have a plan, get a brokerage account. It could be at Charles Schwab, it could be at Robinhood, it could be at your local bank, it could be a number of places, but get you a brokerage account. And then what I would suggest is that you um, have both a taxable account and ideally a tax sheltered account. And why do you want to have two of them? One, maybe the tax sheltered account is for long-term money. Maybe that's your long-term plan for retirement, and year by year, week by week, day by day, you're going to grow that account for the long term. If it's a taxable account where you're ideally looking to make some money to be able to do what I did, which is, buy a new home for the family and you don't want that money to come out of a tax shelter. Just remember you're going to pay about 30% in taxes, probably a net. The short-term capital gains tax rate is 37%. So you'll certainly want to figure out some ways to negate taxes because Uncle Sam wants his cut of that money, and it's a big one. So make sure you're not in the business of trying to make too fast of money. Although I've made a lot of money fast, and I'm not trying to dissuade you from doing that, but there are a healthy amount of risks associated with making money too fast. And so you want to have a good game plan. You'll want to read some books. Ideally, you'll want to ideally paper trade maybe when you first get started. I will say that tonight I starts the training for my new group that it's geared towards. I'm going to grab some water. Geared towards beginners. Excuse me. Geared towards beginners. That link is in my bio, and if you're watching this later, I'll put a link in the comment section someplace. There's two different recordings. That link is in my bio on TikTok, and it's just $37.77 a month, and if you, the group will meet starting tonight at 5:30. Usual starting time will be 6, and we'll typically go 30 to 45 minutes each every Tuesday night to be able to teach you guys a couple of things. And actually, you can see it. Oh, I'm sorry, not tonight, tomorrow night. See it in my planner. Choop, choop. Core training tomorrow night, Tuesday. Um, tomorrow night at 5:30 tomorrow night. So if that's something that interests you, certainly by all means join me. You can start and stop as you like. My wife was getting on me, telling me that I need to have training at a price point that will help people who are just getting their feet wet or maybe on a very, very tight budget. So I came up with that price point that I felt like everybody on the planet just about could afford, at least everybody just about in the United States. Um, and so if trying to figure out how you're going to make money, like some people will make, $100 because they deploy what's between the ears, and some people only make a buck, and there's always a huge difference between those who make a bunch of money and those who don't. And the reasons always usually come down to there are those who do versus those who don't. There are those who will versus those who won't. It's the people who actually go and get it, the people who learn a new skill. One of the things I'm going to try to do personally is try to learn a lot more about artificial intelligence. Try to do it on a weekly basis, learn some new skills, and incorporate some of those skills for my business as a whole, not just, coaching and trading and consulting, but also other business ventures where AI would be very, very helpful. So, guys, only thing I could tell you, I've made a few $1 million trading. Um, it certainly wasn't without risk. Um, and in fact, I'll show that to you. I'll end this video here on the right. I'll show that. Actually, let me share my screen and see if we can do it this way. Made a few $1 million trading. Bear with me. I'll pull it up. Let's see here. And I will tell you that there was just simply a process like everybody and anything else to making money. Let me turn this camera around and show this to you guys. Okay, I apologize. I'm in my room versus my office today. So right here, this is my YouTube channel, Kraken. And if you want to learn a little bit more about what I do, you can go to kraken.org, and the links are there as well. www.kraken with two Ks.org. So in this video that you'll see, um, Charles Schwab bought TD Ameritrade, and they weren't moving the chart balance over. So they said, if you want a copy of it, you really pretty much better make a copy of it because we're not moving it over. So in the video, I talk a little bit about, what was going on. And so I'll fast forward and you'll see my name. Charles Schwab bought TD Ameritrade. You'll see my name and you'll see what it says account and, TD Ameritrade. Let's see if we can get to it scrolling. Oh, there's TD Ameritrade. Account. There's my name. You see my name, Brown, Eugene. You see Brown. And TD Ameritrade, which is no longer in existence, Brown, Eugene. And here we go. And you'll see back in March 2020, it was COVID. Back was against the wall. I took $477 on March the 17th. And what I ended up doing was eventually, watch, you can see this 47 right there, 477 right there. And what happens, and I'll just let the video play, was in about 6 months, I took the balance to almost $300,000. Watch just for a second. Right there. And then what happened, you guys, was I started losing money because remember, I told you it wasn't without risk. I was a little bit aggressive, took the balance back down to about 60,000. And then let me back it up because I think this is important for you guys to see right in here, right? Maybe you can't quite get to it. Let's see here. Well, long story short, you guys might have been right there, 60,000. My balance went from about $5,000. Remember, I started with $477. I added about $4,500 to it. I went from 5,000 to 299,000, then back to 60,000. Guys, in those moments when you could quit, don't quit. Keep pressing forward. Make the necessary adjustments because when I made those adjustments, now I went, look at the date, you guys. November 19th, 2020. Write that down. $60,000. November 19th. Where's the play button? There we go. Look at that. November 19th to December the 7th, less than a month, I made almost $650,000 in about 3 weeks. Think about it. People won't make $650,000 in a lifetime. That money was made in 3 weeks. It might not even been 3 weeks. Being in the right place at the right time with the right stocks, understanding the right strategy took the balance from 60,000 to up to almost so shit 600 almost and $40,000 in about 3 weeks. And then what happened? Let's push play. The balance went down to low 400s. And then what you notice, see, down to around 400. Had to get myself back together. And then I was about at $500,000. And then watch this. In a month, I went from 500,000 to like 1.5. So then I made $1 million in a month. Watch. Right there. 1.5, 1.7 there in February. So it was a month. Long story short, I went to $2.4 million in February. You'll see that in a second. And the only reason why I was able to go from $5,000 to $2.4 million is having a good game plan, having a good strategy, understanding the market that I was in. I was certainly aggressive, obviously, right? And then what you see right here, when I get to 2.4 almost, right there, yeah, 2.4, I took a whole lot of money out. I bought the family a brand new semi-custom home. I paid a crap load, hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes. And then, hold on, let me turn this one off here. And then reset what I was doing. So what I do as I keep making money. And there was a period of adjusting that I had to go through because of I didn't have a good tax plan as it related to paying all that in taxes. And so there was an adjustment of cash flow after I bought the house with cash. Um, so I tell you that to say people fail at trading because they don't start with a good game plan. And a lot of them, they think they're going to wing it. They think by diving into some of these books that it'll be enough. I will tell you it will be helpful, uh, but the learning curve will be longer. So whether it's me helping you learn how to make more money, or it is somebody else, or you want to be self-taught, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just a lot longer process is all. So wanted to come on here and just talk to you a little bit about why people fail at trading. The emotions, the lack of discipline, the lack of knowledge and skill set, their relationship with money. They're too emotional. Um, they have no plan. It's just a bad look. And I'm guilty of it because I've done it that way and then did this thing for years. Just you make some money, lose money, make money, lose money, and then you eventually get washed out. If you're interested in learning how to trade and you're a beginner, I have a small group that is affordable for everybody. It's just under $38 a month. Um, We'll meet every Tuesday at either 5:30 or 6 o'clock. You'll be placed in a private Facebook group where you'll have access to the Zoom link and the trainings that will be housed there in case you miss it on a Tuesday. Um, if you're not really willing to commit to at least a year of learning, don't waste your time. You're not going to learn this in 3 months. But if you know you're like, hey, I want to do what he did. I want to be able to make millions of dollars. I want to create a plan. I want to change my life. And this is just one of those ways. Maybe you work and you do your 401k thing, and maybe you're doing your individual brokerage account with stocks, and maybe you've got a part-time business, another part-time, maybe you're doing a basket full of things, and stocks was simply one of those vehicles or one of those ways that you wanted to make some money. Well, I would encourage you to join. We'll get started tomorrow night. The link is in the bio. And if you need to reach me, whatever reason, maybe you want to be in one of my more advanced groups with more training and more access, then shoot me an email at Eugene Brown, EugeneBrown at Kraken with two K's.org. Again, Eugene, Eugene Brown at Kraken, KRAKKEN.org. And shoot me an email there. There are three other groups that are a bit more advanced. Thanks for the hearts that are a bit more advanced in case that is something you want to lean into. I will close with don't don't underestimate yourself as far as what you believe is you're capable of, and don't let fear rule your actions. Guys, we're on a very short journey. We really are. Before you know, hell, I'm 58. Before before you know it, the journey will be over. My goal is just to provide very, very well for my family. And if I can do that through the market as one of the ways that I make money, then that is a good thing. So if you're just now joining us and you missed me showing you the money from $5,000 I started with to 2.4 million, we'll try to do a very, very short live every day. My goal is to go live around 5 o'clock every day. It's probably a weird time for many of you if you're just trying to get off of work and stuff. 5:30 every day, and then on the weekends, because I find that if if you spend time with people, then people get it a bit better versus just posting content. It just the kind of see your face, hear your voice, maybe get some questions answered. Hey, Robert, some questions answered is a good thing for people. Anyways, give me a follow if you like what I do. Hopefully, I'll be able to provide some value for you going forward. Anyway, make it a great Monday, and we'll see you guys soon.